Chi Philippines Chapter continues to support impoverished families and hospitals to fight the pandemic. Myanmar Tzu Chi volunteers make fabric masks to meet the high demand of protective wares. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tsai. Thank you for joining us. The Philippines government has implemented island and city closures due to the COVID-19 pandemic. After obtaining relevant permits, Tzu Chi Philippines Chapter successively distributed rice to impoverished families. Volunteers also sent protective supplies to 6 hospitals in Manila to safeguard the health of medical professionals.
In the donation signing ceremony, volunteers chose to organize it in front of Jinshi Hall in Tzu Chi Philippines ground. The donation was received by representatives of 6 hospitals.
We are very bit excited because this will help a lot among our frontliners, because we know that your donations conforms with the standards they are requiring for a standard PPE among frontliners. So we really very appreciating this help for the hospital. This will help a lot, not only the hospital but especially among frontliners.
In order to prevent the epidemic from spreading, the Philippines government implemented the policy of closing cities and islands. However, Tzu Chi volunteers still actively collected related protective supplies for local medical professionals. The first batch of supplies being sent out include 8 necessary items.
PPE are very difficult to get. It's a good thing that Tzu Chi Foundation was very kind enough to help us. So we are very, very grateful with this assistance.
The help we receive from Tzu Chi Foundation is from time immemorial. And we thank you because the risk now is high for you to also get sick. But you're here to help us. You're here to work with the other people, get donations, and distribute it.
Epidemic prevention is the first priority. Frontline medical personnel take care of patients' health, while volunteers do their utmost to guard the safety of medical staff.
On April 8, China's Wuhan, after 67 days of quarantine, has finally lifted the lockdown. Local residents are slowly returning to their lives as before, and to help make the process perhaps a bit easier, Tzu Chi volunteers visited the communities to send care packages to the residents. In total, over 4,000 care packages were sent, filling the community, those on the front line, as well as solitary seniors with love.
我们武汉真的是一个英雄的城市，还有英雄的人民。所以呢，我们慈善基金会跟大家真的是送的是我们的尊敬。
The police escort out the medical personnel who came to Wuhan to support the hospitals, symbolizing the lockdown is over. Tzu Chi has also mobilized to send out care into the community.
The epidemic is not something that we want to happen, but because of this virus, it brought us closer together. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet. This is a little something to show our care. It's about time representing safety. Thank you, thank you.
The city has been quiet for more than 2 months. To bring some liveliness, Tzu Chi is sending care packages to each formerly closed-off community.
The hospital takes in hundreds of thousands of patients, but the community staff like you guys take care of the residents, the community, so Tzu Chi is here to support and thank you.
All we heard before was complaints, not a lot of thanks, but we need support and care too, so thank you, Tzu Chi, for that.
The care package may be small, but the meaning behind it is filled with lots of love, and it also helps to bridge people's distances.
This care package is not as simple as it looks. It is given on behalf of Dharma Master Zheng Yan. The volunteers from all over the world, they want to send their well wishes to the heroes of Wuhan people. It is hope we continue to respect and be grateful for one another.
I want to represent my community's residents to thank Tzu Chi for your support. Thank you.
When people are selfless, everyone gets on well and we feel good. Tzu Chi is doing a good job. Thank you so much.
Tzu Chi volunteers pass on the love to the community so it may begin to feel warm once more.
On the 12th of April, Tzu Chi held the second online cultivation activity. More than 40,000 people met together online to learn Dharma teachings. Tzu Chi volunteers in the Northern District seized the chance to learn whether staying at home or at the liaison offices. Two Tzu Chi volunteers, Chen Yingzhu and her daughter Huang Qianqian, joined online cultivation together.
宝贝啊，快点哦，时间到了。 来帮妈妈开电脑啊！
Although they are at home, Chen Yingzhu and her daughter Huang Qianqian put on volunteer uniforms to join the online cultivation together.
用爱，
We want to eliminate disasters through the resonance of love. So from the first day I joined the online cultivation punctually at 4:20 until now.
20分的共修，一直到现在。
线上公修是可以在家。
Online cultivation can be done at home. After getting changed, we can join online cultivation immediately. So my participation rate jumped to more than 90%.
Because of the epidemic, Chi-Chi's monthly cultivation session moved online. Senior volunteers can also feel the convenience.
一根手指头触着那个。
We can invite Master Zheng Yan to our home by our finger touching the screen. It's very, very convenient.
非常的方便。
Apart from home, people can also join the cultivation at Jinshi halls and different liaison offices.
If you join the cultivation at liaison office, it is easier to concentrate. Plus, the screen is so big with good picture quality and the reception is very clear.
In Tzu Chi Banqiao Grand, people also maintained social distancing while listening to Dharma teaching carefully.
到延期的时候的道气会比较好。
When I arrive at the grounds, my chi will be better so I can concentrate more on the lecturer's teaching.
课堂上面听讲师的讲解。
This day, cooking volunteers need to prepare 30 vegetarian lunch boxes, so they specially spared some time to join the cultivation at the dining hall.
希望让那些菩萨因为如是。
I hope to make those bodhisattvas happy because by adopting a vegetarian diet, they can invite more colleagues to go meatless together.
As long as there is the internet, there are no restrictions on the venue. Everyone can meet online. At Tuchen Recycling Station, volunteers are listening to the Dharma teaching from a mobile phone while tidying up recyclables.
在做的时候，我们就是一边做一边听上人的开示啊，手在动，心在听。手在动的话，心可以用心在听我们的开示。
Even the computer that is commonly used to record blood pressure can also be a tool for spreading Dharma teachings. Making good use of technology, we can still continue to cultivate blessings during the current epidemic.
To raise love and to gather kind thoughts, Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center pitches in to help. At the monthly gathering, employees gather to pray for the epidemic to be over soon. To prevent group infections, they have also carried out work at a different location in addition to being sprayed with alcohol and wearing masks.
Everyone is holding a heavy coin bag after days and months of accumulations. People are worried about the epidemic, but they still remember their power of love.
We do the recording every day and also report every day. But what else can we do? Besides reporting the truth to guide people to the right track, we can also use our little strength to bring everyone's goodness together.
A monthly gathering is held at the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center, but because of the epidemic, people must be spread with alcohol when they enter the venue, and the seats have become further apart.
人手呢，室内有1.5公尺的社交距离，所以我们有些家人伙伴在关渡的话，他是在2楼的法音馆。
Some employees of the Tzu Chi Culture Center began working at a different location on April 13th, so they watched the gathering through video conferencing.
感受到大家的爱了吗？
感受到了。
好的。
看到泸州也爱你们。
我觉得这里蛮通风的，然后光线也蛮好的，我还蛮喜欢这里的。
那你想要一直待在这吗？
如果可以的话，我想尽快回关渡。
Everyone wishes the epidemic to be over soon, but we all have to manage our own health first.
We have a health declaration form on the cloud, so no matter where you are, you can use your smartphone or your computer to log in and fill it out.
Using technology to help us keep a safe distance will allow us to see the end of this epidemic quickly.
During this novel coronavirus outbreak, masks are hard to come by globally. To provide masks for the medical staff as well as Tzu Chi care recipients, Myanmar Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chis have begun making reusable masks at the Tzu Chi office. Some volunteers chose to take on the mask making in their home. Thankfully, everyone was quite skilled in sewing, so they pick up the pattern making in no time.
Watching a video on how to make the reusable mask, Myanmar Tzu Chi volunteers with their skills in sewing take on this task with ease. I never thought my ability to sew could be used to help people. When I first started, I didn't know the size of the mask, so it was difficult. I only finished 2 in a day. Now that I'm familiar with it, I finished 400 in 8 days. She's able to turn out these masks in such a short amount of time because others have taken on the task of support, whether it's in cutting the pattern or ironing. Meanwhile, some volunteers do their share of the sewing at home. Huanian's Tama Master brought a sample to us, and so we are now just using that as a pattern. Mostly because of the epidemic now, I don't go out, so when I'm at home, I have more time to sew. King Senderton's main job is a tailoress, and she chose to put aside her job to support this endeavor. I take care of the household crafts during the day and then cut the pattern so that I can sew it together at night. It brings me joy to be able to make masks during this pandemic. Thanks to these volunteers' support in sewing, these masks will sure be loved by those who receive it.
Among volunteers teaching Neihu ground, there is a 93-year-old grandmother, Ling Shujiao, who has been doing handicrafts for almost 20 years. Although she suffered from dementia since last year, she still went to help making masks 3 days a week.
It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. Our daughter was keeping company with her 93-year-old mother to start their regular journey.
She doesn't have anything to do at home, and this habit has lasted for many years. Coming here is good for her, allowing her to meet with other people, which is also good for dementia patients.
She had good vision to thread a needle, yet her hands kept trembling.
She cannot remember some of the things clearly, but for those long time ago, she remembers very well.
She has been doing handcraft attentively for 19 years. Last year, she started to have mild dementia. Apart from her daughter-in-law, volunteers around her treated her like a family member.
She's very silent. She always does her work without much words. Unless you talk to her, then she'll chat with you. 4, 5, here are 5 pieces. We need to make for the chin first.
This little workshop has become a care station for seniors, gathering kindness from society when facing the epidemic.
The metal nose strips were donated by 1 or 2 Tzu Chi sisters, while the elastic bands were donated by many others. Why? Because the manufacturers were too late to give them to us.
This is the filter, which can be used for 5 or 6 times and was donated by DaAi Technology.
And through the skillful hands of the volunteers, these materials were processed into fabric masks. Every single step was connected by love from different volunteers.
A post office manager in China, Xiaobing, became vegetarian while accompanying his son on a Veggie Planet activity sponsored by Jingsi Books and Cafe. He even frequents the supermarket to cook lunches for his colleagues during the epidemic.
This big man is familiar with all the vegetables in the supermarket. When he sees these ingredients, he immediately thinks of a few dishes.
Potatoes are for spicy hot pot and mapo tofu.
Xiaobin works at the post office and has been a vegetarian for more than 2 years. During the epidemic, he cooked in the company kitchen every day.
During this epidemic, suddenly there's no fast food and no place to eat, so we bought instant noodles. But you can't stand eating instant noodles every day. Even people who like to eat instant noodles can't eat it anymore.
He's quite handy at using vegetables to prepare meals for colleagues. Originally, he was a meat eater.
My son went to Tzu Chi 108-day Veggie Planet event, and from then he began to eat vegetables to save the earth.
Because of his son, he started to consider the idea of becoming a vegetarian. The whole family worked together to change their diet.
Being vegetarian is healthier for humans. Like me, for example, when I was a kid, Mom always gave me meat to eat and I would have constipation. It's good to be a vegetarian now.
I think eating meat seems to be related to desire. You think of something and then you want it. After eating vegetarian food, I think my mind is more pure.
Becoming vegetarian is just a starting point, and now Xiaobin has gradually entered Tzu Chi, turning good thoughts into power and compassion.
There's some truth to the rumor that older people may end up a few centimeters shorter than them when they're young. Doctors attribute this to osteoporosis, disc degeneration, or compression fractures, which can cause one to become shorter. However, this may not happen to everyone, as there are some preventative measures which can be used.
Some people say that when they are young, they will be taller, and when they get older, they will become shorter. Is this true?
81-year-old Miss Chen Ling walks a little humpbacked. Her daughter said that her mother was at least 10 centimeters taller than she is now.
When she was young, her height should be around 157 and 158 centimeters, but now it's only about 145 and 146 centimeters.
Most of people said they will become shorter. It didn't bother me. I ignore it.
Scoliosis and foot fractures have effects on the body, but the height of the elderly is mostly affected by osteoporosis.
For example, degeneration of vertebral discs will result in the thickness of vertebral discs becoming narrow. Even the vertebrae in some elderly people will be affected by osteoporosis, resulting in compression fractures that will reduce overall height.
As long as bone density is maintained properly, not everyone will become shorter when they are old. If you find that your height has become shorter by 3 centimeters in 1 year, more than 5 centimeters in 2 years, you are advised to seek a medical exam.
Prevention includes preventing falls and proper bone health care. For example, you need to have enough calcium in your food, and you have to exercise and bask in the sun to supplement through enough vitamin D. Preventing falls, of course. Avoiding falling is important.
Osteoporosis is not necessarily symptomatic. Therefore, regular measurement of bone density and prevention work can dramatically reduce the risk associated with aging.
The Taiwan golden rain tree is an endemic species known for 4 colors such as bright green, emerald green, gold, and reddish brown. It often lines the streets of Taiwan. However, LED street lights affect the growth and flowering of this tree. This is especially evident in Tianmu's Zhongchen Lu.
Every autumn, 2 rows of Taiwan golden rain tree on Tianmu's Zhongcheng Road will bloom with beautiful flowers. The view can be quite stunning. And for Lori Li, the CEO of Eco Nature Tianmu, who has nicknamed Golden Rain Tree Mama, she learned that LED street lighting was affecting these trees at the end of last year.
I have been taking care of this bird for 4 years because its wings are broken, so there is no way to let it go in the wild. Someone needs to take care of it.
Lee has been concerned about the environmental problems in Tianmu and has worked as a volunteer for the Wild Bird Association. When she was young, Lee was quite a beautiful model and entertainer.
Some may have seen me on TV. I did a number of talk shows when there were only 3 TV channels at the time. I hosted a show with Zhao Shuhai at CTS. It was about 30 years ago when I made my debut in the entertainment industry.
How did she change from an entertainer to a full-time environmentalist? She says that she loved birds from childhood and often took home injured birds to care for them. This all happened naturally. In September 2019, she accidentally discovered the Taiwan golden rain tree appeared to be evergreen under the effect of LED streetlights on Zhongcheng Road. Areas not affected by LED streetlights showed blooming. In January this year, our reporters found the row of trees on Zhongcheng Road showing different states of growth.
The part of it that is exposed to light pollution will not bloom or bear fruit all year round and keep the leaves stay green. This part you can see with the buds next to it, which is like coffee, a bit like dry flowers after they bloomed, have not been damaged by the light.
According to Lee's observation, the average width of each LED streetlight is at least 5.5 meters wide. From the top of the tree to the lowest layer of the tree's leaves, the impact is more than 6 meters.
These plants must rest at night, otherwise it will affect their growth, such as their flowering period and other states. Plants are like a human body, they need time for rest. And if you don't rest at night, your entire physical state will be messed up.
The Taipei Botanical Garden on Nanhai Road is also affected by light pollution.
We slowly found out that if your light is lit for a long time at night, the plant becomes unaware that winter has arrived. So it will always feel that we are now in a long sunshine period, which will affect its physiological performance.
To counteract the damage caused by street lighting to plants and animals in the botanical garden, it studied foreign botanical gardens to make improvements to its street lamps.
From a biological and ecological point of view, it is not reasonable to illuminate plants at night, whether on the road or in a park. Several countries have done particularly well in this area, especially some public parks or protected tourist areas in the United States. Basically, protected areas turn off all the lights, but in some areas such as Hawaii, in parks and green areas, the lights shine down on the ground.
Although the counties and cities where flowers and crops are affected by LED streetlights are mostly equipped with lampshades to solve the damage of light damage, the Taipei Botanical Garden designed adjustable floor lamps to take into account the safety of tourists in the park and avoid damaging plants.
This light is specifically angled downwards. This is basically because we don't want the light to directly hit our eyes. So when this lamp was designed, we wanted it to be adjustable.
Trees growing under the impact of light damage may not be easily manifested in a short amount of time, but the damage to the tree's health is undeniable. The health of trees is important to the environment as they attract birds and other animals to form a small ecological circle, which can ultimately impact our lives.
Sanchong Tzu Chi volunteers set up a stand at a flea market to invite the public to knock on the bell and jump to pray for world peace. Take a look and see you next time.